Pick up where we left off on Edward the Brus here on our painting project here. So had a little bit of time this morning. Haven't done any painting since last night. We're going to brighten the sky up. We did do the I forgot I had not done the Nuln Oil on that, so we went ahead and put the Nuln Oil on there, and we will brighten this up. And then we'll pick up where we left off. And let's see if we can't organize this a little differently. Move this stuff off to the side. And my phone brightened all the way. Sure doesn't seem like it. That's what I thought. It was looking a little gray. I'm not one of those people that turns the brightness on my phone down. Okay. All right, so we're going to pick up on this guy where we left off, and we're probably going to leave his shield on for last. We'll move on to the other figures. So this morning I had some time to do some research off camera, and I found out the two other knights that were with him. So that's who we're going to do as the other two knights in this army. So, all right. So let's go ahead and grab what we used is, what's the name of this color paint that we did for the metallic? We did the lead belcher. Okay, so now we're going to use one of these that I had not transferred over yet. One of these, I believe, has a mixing ball in it. There it is. So the next shade up is, they're calling it Iron Breaker. So this is a little bit brighter, and we're going to use it to highlight the helmet and the axe. And this one hasn't been transferred over to the dropper bottle, so. Okay. And hopefully, my Irish flags do not come in today. I do not want them to come today, because if they do, I'll be tempted to switch direction and go to that. And I don't want to be tempted to do that. All right, so let's get some of this this out here. This is the next brighter shade up from, let's do some highlighting here. Couldn't do any super early morning painting this morning. I had someone to take to swimming practice very early, so it wasn't worth doing this for like an hour, which is what it would have been. So even though I only have about an hour now, because what's going to happen is I'm going to go get a haircut, and then we'll be on later today to do some more of this. Well, I'll knock these nights out this weekend if I can get away with it. So add some color to this army. This army's kind of a little on the drab side, but that's kind of how they're supposed to be, color to them. Okay. So, the axe handle. Let's add a little bit of brightness in there. We're going to grab like, this color here should be fine. This US Field Drab. Don't need very much. Oh, it's a strange pouch with my brushes and stuff, and I had them kind of here on the end where I'm gonna come by and knock it down. So all I do is paint one figure and everything comes out of place. Okay, let's get that brown color going. It looks like we missed the time of the morning where the light comes in and you get the multiple light sources and it gets really distracting. That happens about 9 and 9:30, so looks like we came after that, so we won't have that craziness. I don't know why I decided to give this guy an axe. I just figured to be different. I tend to not like to paint knights with hand-to-hand weapons. I like to give them land. Except for the commander. I don't mind him having a sword or, almost kind of a symbol for an attack or something like that. Much more than just random guys with a sword. Even though one of the knights on this stand will have a sword, the other guy, one of his companions. So I had some time this morning to do the research on on other knights that went with him, and I had a name of like 6 or 7 that actually went to Ireland, and I picked 2 other guys that died with him there. So it's gonna be that's who's gonna be on his stand. So the interesting thing is most of the other knight figures as well have heraldry, but it's not super complicated because that's the one thing that I was concerned is the leader having heraldry that's pretty simple in the shape of these chevrons, and I didn't want him to be outdone by the other folks. So I don't think that's going to be an issue because they're pretty basic, the other 2 guys. So it just kind of worked out that way. Wasn't necessarily intentional. All right, so we've got a let's put the scabbard. It's something with a little bit of red. We'll use this cavalry brown. That'll brighten it up some. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get to doing his shield in the next hour that I have because it's going to take a little bit of work. We're gonna make it match his flag, which is going to look like this. So we're going to hand paint his shield and to just take it step by step. So all right, so the hell was I? Oh, the this. Okay, so we're gonna paint his belt and this scabbard and so forth all in. Interesting thing is, it doesn't look like there's a sword in there, which is kind of strange. It's like an empty scabbard, but he's holding an axe. So there's a narrative in there somewhere that we just don't know what it is. So. Okay, and we're going to switch to a smaller brush because we need to get in places. This is not huge, but we can do better than that. This one should be fine. Yeah, I got to take a break in about an hour. I got to go get a haircut, so I just can't take it anymore. And I wish I could do it earlier, but you got to do everything with appointment now, or things are complicated now. So otherwise, I'd be doing that right this second. They didn't have anything till 11:30, so but I should be back on later. We want to finish this guy for sure. Okay. Now, do we want to go any lighter than that? Let's add a little bit more white and see what happens. Okay, there's a scabbard. So, okay. What else can we do to them? Well, we've got these. We've got the stirrups we can paint. Go grab our stirrup color that we almost always go to. There's some things I put a lot of thought into. There's other things I don't. Color of stirrups is one of those. I just kind of throw something on there. Just gonna take Racky sand and mix it with some black. Now these figures have the actual stirrup connected to the leg, and sometimes it'll have the part that goes around the foot and it doesn't go anywhere. It's just kind of floating there in the middle of nowhere. So sometimes you need to paint a little loop around his foot and nothing else. So I'm going to pretend like it's here, and I'm going to put some gray there. Where did we go here? All right. I don't know if I want to do the shield just now. I need to put some more water in me. I had a half of a Starbucks coffee this morning when I went out. I can hold my caffeine pretty well, but I don't know what they do to their coffee. It'll literally wake the dead. So I got a little bit of jitter in me, and just yet. So like I said, pick up where we left off. We're gonna go about an hour here. Yeah, in about an hour from now, I gotta cut off and my weight loss go work on my weight loss plan, which is get a haircut. Okay. That should do. We got reins to do. As much as I want to work on this shield, I don't think we're going to be able to do that right now. We need to hydrate some more. All right, so we're gonna set this guy off to the side. We'll come back to him. Now, so we did some researching on the other 2 knights that were with him. There were several other knights that were with him that were named, but only 2 that actually died with him in the last battle. And one of them is Sir John Sully, and the other one is Sir John Stewart. And that's going to be the 2 knights that we're going to do. Let me pull the other 2 figures here. The guy I'm going to use to carry the banner is, so there's 2, so the heraldry of the 2 guys, one of them is a yellow, okay, so where's the lid for this? I really got to get rid of some of this shit that's on mine. It's not even that big of a mess compared to some of the tables I've seen, but you know, there's enough stuff here that is just, I'm bumping into stuff when I'm not intending on touching it. So let's put that away while we talk about the heraldry. So I did the research. There's two of the guys that were there that went with him and died in the last battle that Edward also died in 1318. One of them is named Sir John Stewart, and his heraldry is a yellow background with checkerboard, white and blue. Okay, so it's 3 rows of checkerboard, white and blue alternating, and a horizontal band across a yellow background. The other one is a guy by the name of Sir John Sully, or de Sully, and his heraldry is horizontal stripes, white and red. So that's the 2 guys that are going with him. Now, you can tell what the banner looks like that the banner bearer is going to carry. It's not all of them. I haven't decided which one it was. I just printed it in different sizes so I could compare on the staff. It's probably going to be this one here. I don't want it to be too small. It's one of these 2, and I think I'm going to go towards this one. But this is the kind of colors that the banner bearer is going to wear. So I don't think I want to do the one that has the blue and white checkerboards on him, because it ties into this too much and it almost gives it the impression that that's his personal banner when it isn't. So this is going to be the horizontal stripe, white and red, and then this one's going to have the checkerboard. Okay, so this is going to be Stewart, and this is going to be Sully. Okay, so we're going to be having, because of those colors that he has, his entire horse is going to have yellow coverings, and he's going to have a horizontal stripe across it in the checkerboard. So you guys, I don't know if I'll be able to, I know I won't be able to finish it in an hour. Well, I may be able to finish it in an hour, but you guys can see some people freak out about checkerboards. I've done them a couple times. It's not that difficult. It's not difficult. So you just have to pace yourself. With any of this stuff, you just can't expect to do it one, pace yourself. With any of this stuff, you just can't expect to do it one in the first thing. Sometimes you've got to do your best effort and then go in there and clean up the corners and stuff like that. So, all right. So let's not do the same mistake we did last time. Not really a mistake, but both of them dry brush the chainmail on them. That'll already be done. So I'm going to got rid of some of the clutter, but I got to do more than that. Put some of this right here. All right. And let's get our brush we don't mind to abuse a little bit. It's not here. It's this one. There's 2 other knights I decided not to use. Their heraldry was kind of complicated, but they didn't die with him in the last battle. So, you know, I didn't want to use any guys that... Man, why does this little box stay open? Heraldry more complicated than a lot more complicated than Edward, which isn't asking for a lot when you consider all you've got is a red chevron. Okay, it's really easy to top that guy, you know. So anyhow, that's also the other reason why I want to add the the same line that is on the banner on the actual figure, so it'll tie in that that's who it's supposed to be. The way I understand it is the personal colors of him is the lion. The chevron is the earldom of Carrick. So he was given the earldom of Carrick by his brother, I believe, and that's what he's. If you look Edward the Bruce, that's what you're going to see. You're going to see, a lot of this chevron motif like this one. So all right, we're not going to do the helmet because it doesn't get dry brushed. Or I could probably just do that. Let's just do that. As you can see, I don't have I don't do a lot of planning. Let's just put some of that on there, even though it's probably going to get a different treatment later. So I found the information. There's a poem that was an old English or old Scottish poem called the Brus that actually talks about his brother Robert, and it of course mentions Edward as well. But I found a translation of it. It might as well be in. Well, if it was in French, it'd be more understandable. I can't read that stuff. So luckily, I was able to find a copy of it without having to buy the darn book, just for the part where they're in Ireland. So it did name those other knights. It named like 8 or 9 of them, and that's how we decided to use the guys that we decided to use. 20 minutes and nobody watching. This is a good time for me. 4:20 in the afternoon. Well, I wanted to do this at 5 a.m. here. So I wanted to do this 5 hours ago. But I only had about an hour to do it in. So I figured it wasn't worth an hour. So I caught up on the other stuff that I do in the morning. Less than an hour now. But I'll be back on as I want to knock these guys out. But yeah, you never can find out. Actually, you can go, if you have a YouTube channel, you have uploads and stuff, you can watch the most popular times. You can go in there on the data and find out what the most popular times are for people to watch. Apparently, the most popular times for other people to watch is around 3 and 4 in the afternoon, my time, which I guess for Europe would be around 8 p.m., 9 p.m., something like that. But that's not a good time for me because I'm at work during that time. So, I know several people that do all their filming and paint stuff like in the middle of the after. Anyhow, I can't do that. I wish I could sit around in my underwear at home, but not really conducive to that. Okay, so we got this guy painted. I mainly did this now so that when I do this treatment later and the horse is all done, I don't get this. I don't big deal, but it just saves me. If it could save me 5 minutes, that's worth it. So if we can't watch you live, we have you on file. Yeah, exactly. So, and it's the weekend, right? So it should be no lag. I think that's what the pattern has been. It's been lagged Monday through Friday. I think it's too many people working from home using the internet, and it's all. I mean, even though they say it doesn't affect it, I'm not buying that. There's a finite amount of information that can be sent out, so it can't help to have everybody trying to access all the internets all at once. So, and I don't know. I use the internet a heck of a lot more on the weekends than I do Monday through Friday. I got work to do Monday through Friday. So, okay, so yellow it is, right? All right, so let's grab the yellow that we're going to use. And we probably need this little guy right here. And maybe this one. And we don't want to go super dark with the brown. We don't need to, but I'd like to go darker than, I'd like to go a little lighter than good old chocolate brown. Let's see what we got here. Flat brown. Well, this thing's about dying. This has got a lot of red in it. I've had this one a while. See, chocolate brown's like that. This has got more red in it. I don't like this one. We're not gonna do that. Well, we can always fall on chocolate brown. What else we got here? Leather brown. Dude, I haven't used this one in a long. Sorry, you're lagging a bit, but it might be my fault. It is your fault. It's your damn fault. I'm following some eBay bids at the same time. I doubt that has anything to do with it, but whatever. It's the gremlins from the Kremlin. That's what's doing it. I like this one. Some of these colors I haven't used in so long because they got really watery at one point. I just need to rebuy them. I got these from when I was doing World War II stuff, so that tells you how long ago that was. Yeah, this is a fine brown, but it's got, I need something with more substance to it because we got to cover over that black. Yeah, well, it's not a big deal. We don't want to start with a. Here's a flat earth. Let's try this one. I should write these down and go to Hobby Lobby and buy these. Let's see. And these colors weren't always this way. It's almost kind of like, okay, this one's okay. There we go. Who cares if we waste a bunch of paint? I was going to rebuy it anyways, right? Flat earth. Vallejo flat earth. Okay. We can use a pretty big brush for this because we need to do this. Now, let's look at some, and I like this color, but man, this stuff is really watery. So let's see what we can get up to with this. Okay, that's not bad. That was probably too light. That was too. Now, why would I use this one as opposed to this other one? Let's take a look at this. The Vallejo flat yellow. This is one of these colors that comes out super thick, isn't it? Yes. It comes out super thick and doesn't cover worth a damn. Two things that don't make any sense when they go together. Where is my drill bit thingy? Here it is. It's poking through. Also watching a cooking show on the other screen. Well, that's it. Your computer can't multitask that much. A cooking show. Well, better you to watch it. So you'd be one of those people that if I did a cooking show, you'd watch that too. No, I wouldn't do a cooking show. I would heart surgeries I do about cooking, so you guys don't want to see that. I'd be like the Swedish chef. Okay, I like this one better. I like this one better. The thick one. All right, good. I'll go ahead and do that. So we're going to go ahead and take this flat earth here and take some of this, lighten it up a little bit, and let's cover it. And it's okay, it doesn't cover it perfectly and it still looks kind of blackish on the bottom. We're going to go over it, not a problem. It's certainly not worth it to prime this part in white and then do the, no, I'm not doing all that. If I'm going to prime it in white, then I gotta want a, if I had nothing to do and I wanted to take even, I'd try that one time. I'd take a batch of figures and prime them in white and then paint my style doing watercolorish, but I'd have to do backwards of how I do it. I'd have to do the lighter colors first and then the darker ones afterwards. But I might actually like how it looks. But since I don't really have a lack of things to do, let's not go there. Now this is going to be a light color barding. So we're going to have a darker color horse on this one as well. Now, the other guy, the standard bearer, is going to ride next to Edward. And since he is also a red and white type guy, we're going to, when we do the white covering for this, we're going to use a different mix-in than we did for this one so that they look, I don't want them to be the same color white. So we'll have to look at that. I won't. That's another reason why I don't varnish these guys until I'm completely done, because I may end up having to bring Edward's horse up to a much brighter color so that they stand out. So it's not done until you're done with the varnishing. So you're watching eBay bids and cookie shows. I can't stand multiple things going on at once. But that's what my work is like. My work is like 50 things happening at the same time, and it drives me bananas. So I'm sure as hell not going to do that. Bring that into my personal life. Interruptions and my preference is to start one thing and I don't even like what I'm doing now where I stopped working on this guy and I'm starting to work on this one. But it just kind of matter of fact, we need to lose this shaking a little bit. I don't have it really very strong, but I want to devote the centerpiece of all this is going to be his shield. So we certainly don't want to booger that up. We want to do it right. So and just like we did on the other one, we're going to paint the actual the cloth on the knight himself separately because we're not going to use the same base color. We're going to use a different one. Why does this thing keep coming up? Like I'll check the messages, and if I bring this up, it has this where I can choose top chat, live chat, or none, and it just use something in an app or something that's free. You have to deal with all the annoyingness that it brings. So. All right, let's lighten this up a little bit, and we're going to do the checkerboard pattern. So, just like we did with with Edwards. So we're painting almost everything in this color. So we're painting almost everything in this color. What is my yeah, I'm on LTE with full bars. So can't get any better signal here. I don't get 5G. Can't get any better signal here. I don't get 5G in this neighborhood. I do maybe one neighborhood over, but to be honest with you, I've had 5G for, how long have I had this phone? Maybe a couple months, and I don't think it's any faster. I feel like it doesn't need to be any faster. It just needs to you just need to have a signal. Um, I feel like it's just you have access to a different bandwidth. Um, so, mm, all right, this is kind of a cool color. This let's get in here before it's too late and do some of this detailing underneath that the cloth would show up here on the ends. That's why I don't like priming in white. If I leave something here that I forgot to paint, it's back in the shadows somewhere where nobody can see it. If it's in white, it's poking you in the eye as a glaring omission. And I've just done it this way for just so long. I mean, ever since I've been painting with this layering technique, I've been priming in black. So, you know, I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. Okay, so I've got two coats on them, and they're pretty thin, so it's not like I'm covering over any detail. All right, let's let's get Mr. Computer out. And I do everything on the phone, but obviously I can't show this on the phone because the phone is being used to, um, it's being used to film with. So I went and sent this to myself on Facebook Messenger, and because I hardly use email for anything, personal email, it's just, I use email for work. I don't use personal email for anything. And I'll show you guys what the, come on, it's crap because I'm having to use the wireless here in the house, and it's worthless. I have great cell phone signal, but the, come on. Well, I did this on purpose so I could show you guys what the two heraldries look like. And it is just not wanting to connect. Best laid plans, right? Notifications. Yeah. This is why I don't connect to anything through Wi-Fi. Wouldn't be able to film anything. All I'm asking for it to do is to bring up the notifications here. Oh, God bless this. All right, I'm gonna reboot. See if that makes a difference. Oh, now they come up. Well, I don't want to shut down the PC if it's gonna be like that. Okay, here's the two. Man, why can't I make this bigger? And there it disappeared. Okay, this thing is being a royal bitch right now. Alright, I'm not going to scroll or anything. Let's see if I can get it on the screen somewhere you can see it. Here's the two symbols. Okay, so the banner bearer is going to be that one, and then the other guy is going to be that one right there. Okay, so it is 3 rows. No, I can't find a pen. Wow. People that have a really disorganized area must really not be able to find anything. Okay, so it's 3 rows, white and blue, and how many rows is the other one? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so I need to write this down so that I'm not reliant on the 3 rows, white and blue. That's what we're going to do on here. Now, we might as well use one of the colors that we're going to do it in. We're going to do the blue first. So let's find a mid-range blue. The Prussian would be okay because we can brighten that up. Yeah, the internet here is abysmal. And there's no solution other than rewiring the whole house or moving. So, but I'm sure there's some people out there that have great internet at home and terrible phone signal. So I'm glad it's that way, not the opposite. Let's see. Searching for the blue. I think this one has too much. I think this one's too deep. It's a problem with Vallejo colors. Like, what color was this? Who knows? It's all worn out. That's a color I'm not rebuying anyways. That's one of those that looks really nice, and then you open it, it's very gray looking. Yeah, this is probably the winning candidate. Let's look at the Prussian one again, because we can lighten up the Prussian one. The Prussian one's going to look like that. Let's not go with the Prussian one. I should say, the color they called Prussian. Hans-Zieten, hello everyone. This is good timing as the wife is having me paint some walls and I need something to listen to. Well, just so you know, since you're just chiming in, I can only be on here another half hour. And Machination Studio caught me twice in the same day. Well, you got your days mixed up because it's the next day for me. You must live on the other side of the world. Yeah, I'm trying to do this live if I'm going to do it, and I want to do this frequently, so it benefits everybody. It keeps me on track. There we go. That's a good color. That's a blue. All right, that's a blue. All right, so we're going to do the blue. We'll build up the white afterwards. Okay. So let's, so we're going to do 3 rows. And this is definitely not something I'm going to get right the first time. And this is going to be weird because I'm going to have to stop at a strange time. Okay, so we've got 3 rows of the yellow and blue. I had one here and it walked away. Put myself on a shorter leash. Let's see, can I write on here? Yeah, okay, good. All right, so we've got 3 rows. And it's going to be blue, it's going to be checkerboard. And if there's blue here, there's blue here, and 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 blue here, etc. Okay, all the way across. So wherever I put this line, I can't really put it on the center line. I'm going to put, let's go about this differently. Okay, let's use black. Now, we still got some black that's alive. We sure do. Let's find us a spot here that doesn't have a lot of activity. And it's gonna have to be on this side. Let's thin this down. And I could use pens too, but I'm better with a brush than pens. Pens are weird. Like you put too much pressure on stuff. This you can just kind of go lightly. Okay. So wherever I put this, I can either draw this one, or that one. So what I envision is something along the lines of something like that. There's my 3 lines. Okay. So we'll do the same thing here. We'll do one up here, another one there, another one there. Okay. So I'm just kind of spacing things out. I don't know if you guys can see that. But just something really quick, just as a guide. Now, I'm not going to do all this. I'm going to go to the opposite side. Make sure you pace yourself. That's kind of like people when you're drawing a face, you're drawing ovals and stuff. So you don't end up, giving them a wrong size neck or something like that. So we don't have to be super precise, but we'd like the lines about in the same place. Okay. It doesn't have to be perfect because this is he's wearing this cloth, and sometimes if you've ever made a bed, you know that you go to make the bed on one side and you go to the other side, and then it's not even on both sides, So okay, that's good enough for me. Okay, now let's block some of this stuff in. Let's make sure we still keep this thing, because I'm not interested in putting a heavy black line. We can always do that later. Okay, we can always do that later. So right now we want to focus on whatever size I made these blocks. I want to make sure that they're square, because that's what's really going to stand out. They don't have to be perfect, because this is sitting on a cloth that's wavy. So if it's imperfect a little bit, you're not even going to notice that. So let's go ahead and just draw a center line through them all. Okay, and then we're going to come over here and make another block, and come over here and make another block, come over here and make another block, come over here and make another block. Okay, so now we got a checkerboard pattern there. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on the front. And there's probably a million ways to do this. This is just how I've done it in the past. Um, it's not that big of a deal. It's about pacing yourself. Okay, you got checkerboards on the front too. This is actually kind of fun to do, to be honest with you. Okay, so we got all our checkerboards there. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to fill them in. All right, so we just pick one. How are we doing on time? Yeah, we could probably do blue. Let's see. Yeah, we'll just start this one. If that one's blue, then this one is too, which means this one's blue. And I'm not so worried at this point that it's not covering great. What I don't want is to put this paint on so thick that it's going to look gloppy. Okay, so there's the blue done on that one. Same thing over here. Too thick. We want to go thin. Because no matter what I do on this first coat, it's not going to cover over the yellow on the first try. I could feel that caffeine. I had way too much caffeine this morning. All right, let's go to the other side. The other day, I ordered a medieval German and Ottoman Turk armies after watching some of your videos, looking forward to getting those poor Ottomans. They just can't win a battle. They're so hard to play in DBA. One of my favorite armies, one of my favorite looking armies. Um, it's just such an uphill battle for them. Not so much about knights. So if you want a balance, you just try to give the medieval Germans as many knights as they can. The light horse do just fine against knights. It's the heavy foot and stuff. Yeah, they're definitely fun to paint. They're one of my favorite looking armies. Maybe my favorite looking army so far. I also like the fact that mine's composed of all kinds of different manufacturers, and that appeals to me a lot. I like that. Let's start with a dark color here. I like the, you gotta paint a real room. Ugh, that's dreadful. And worst part is the ceiling. I don't paint ceilings. I let somebody else. I don't care how careful you are with the ceiling, you end up wearing it. It gets in your hair. It just, it's, it's horrible. So try not to paint the ceiling. Okay, now we kind of have like a base for this to go on. Now we're going to do the same thing with the white. Can we go ahead and do that? Now we're going to end up bigger than the other one. That's going to happen. Okay, it's not that big a deal. Okay, you can see. Now you can barely tell it's blue, but you know I'm going to have to put a second coat on there, so there's no point in over trying to detail that. Let's put some white down. And we're going to use straight white. We're not going to use ivory or anything. We're going to see if we can get some, and definitely mix that with black. Get our gray. Thank you. I really need to replace this chair that just, when I shift in it, it likes to, what I like to call bitch. It likes to do a little, the crack sounds. It's a computer chair, so it's not uncomfortable. It's just old. It's probably, how long we've been in this house? It's at least from the first computer, 2004 at least. So yeah, 16 years old. Oh, it's fine. Why am I going to replace it? Well, because it's when bitches too much. So not right. Not something I'm going to do right this second. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. This isn't a very quick process. See, again, I looked at the text and this damn box is still open. So insolent display. Okay, this is the first section of that. And you know, when I drew the lines in, they're pretty consistently square. When you fill these in, they're going to start becoming less perfectly square just because of the nature of doing this. That's fine because this is not some painting on the wall. This is cloth squares that are on a horse covering that has wrinkles in it. Wrinkles in it. Okay. And if you go over a tiny little bit on one, don't worry about it. Come back and during the process of that, just that'll end up getting straightened out. I'll go to the other side. This is why I don't paint for people. This just takes too long. It just takes way too long. I paint for people, then I mean these guys need to show up on videos. So now when I come back and do the other squares, I'm gonna go back to the blue. Bring the blue up a level. Alternate. Show you guys the process of where we're at so far. So. And we'll have to do the same on his shield and what's on his body, but that'll be a piece of cake compared to this. This takes a lot longer. So anyhow, I didn't want to make the squares any smaller because if I made the squares smaller, then I would have to do more squares across, and also there'd be a lot of this empty yellow space on them, which honestly is there's quite a bit on this figure. So I don't want that really to be the trend of you know, because this guy's going to be on one side, okay, and then you're going to have him in the middle, and you're going to have the banner guy on the other side. So that's what that stand is going to look like. So. Okay, well, it is time for me to sign off for a little bit. I'll be back on. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you subscribe, and hit that little bell there, you'll get notified when I come back online, and we can pick right up where we left off. So, but anyhow, I will plan on being back on here after I lose some of this hair. So, anyhow, until next time, we will see you guys later. Bye bye.